Hey there guys, what's going on? In today's video we are taking a look at a little something that some of you might be having a bit of trouble with on your gold weapon grind. Long shots in Modern Warfare are a little bit tricky sometimes, but I've got some tips that should make it a little bit easier to get some of you on your way to racking up those gold camos or on your way to platinum and eventually Damascus. But just before we do talk about these tips here, let's try and get this video to 15 likes. The support from you guys has continued to be excellent recently. All of the likes and comments and the views from you guys have been letting me know that you've been enjoying the content, so we'll keep making it as long as you guys do watch it. But 95% of you watching this video, according to this little graph here, that's you I'm talking to right now who aren't subscribed, are not subscribed. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on so you don't miss any more of these videos. We are actually very close to 1100 subscribers now, which is very exciting, and we did hit 1000 a little while ago, so we are on the way right now. So let's get into our tips here. So, if you have looked up a video on this subject before, you've probably already heard to just go straight into ground war with a scope and try and pick people off. While this can actually be effective, it can often take a pretty long time to rack up 100 long shots just in ground war, given that a number of the gunfights you'll get in ground war will actually be at close range when you're defending a flag. You'd basically have to sit on a roof or super far away from the point that you are defending and just try and pick people off. While this can work, it's pretty inefficient and can be actually a little bit frustrating. And it's not really fun if you don't get your distances right. You can just sort of have a bad time doing this. With a little research though, the long shot distance for assault rifles and most weapons is between 30 and 40 meters-ish. I think for assault rifles, it's about 37.5 meters. And it can be a little bit annoying trying to find this exact distance while you're in ground war, especially while you're in gunfights. So by all means, do chuck on a 3 times or a 4 times scope, 7 times scope, whatever you want, like a sniper scope or whatever. Do go into ground war and do this, because you will get a couple of long shot kills. Like if you're only a few away, you might end up getting this pretty quickly if you do go into the right maps, play in the right way. But I think we can do a little bit better than just a couple of long shots per game. Next, you can also try the similar thing in Warzone. You can do this pretty reliably, especially since most gunfights in Warzone will either happen at super close range or at about 50 plus meters. You should be able to get easy a couple of kills or a couple of long shot kills per game if you are getting into loads of fights being aggressive. And it's definitely doable in this way, but it's a little bit inefficient again when it does come to the amount of long shots that you can get per game and the amount of time it does invest into getting those shots. Especially if you only see like 5 or 6 people per game. If you're trying to win those games, you'll only typically see 5, 6, 7 people per game, and that's not really very efficient to sort of rack up those long kills very quickly. To make it a little bit easier in Warzone though, you've got the ping system, which will tell you exactly how far away someone is, and this can make you a little bit more accurate in judging those distances. But sometimes you don't really have time to drop a ping while you're shooting someone to check if they're 38 meters away. So again, this is an okay method to get those long shot kills. Like you chuck on a long scope, try and get those long shots from pretty far away, and it works. Like you'll get a couple per game if you are playing that way, but I think again we can do better. For me personally, I actually didn't notice the long shot skins being unlocked. They were just kind of finished without any special effort from me. I typically find the mounted kills to be a little bit more of a chore than this, but you can do these together sometimes if you do find the right spots, and we're about to talk about that next. But yeah, seemingly just playing the game normally, sort of maybe focusing a little bit more on trying to kill people from further away, especially now that you do know that the long shot distance is about 38 meters. You can probably consider taking on gunfights that you might not have taken before because they were a little bit too far away, because you might get just a few easy long shots to add to your tally. So if you are taking on gunfights that are about 40 meters away, like think of the long street on Grasna Raid, like that's probably the right distance to get those long shots, like one end to the other basically should definitely get you some more long shots. Next, we've got probably the best way to get long shots in Modern Warfare, and unfortunately this doesn't apply to me at the moment as the Shoot House playlist is not available, which is a little bit disappointing. So I've jumped in a custom game with my guy Sam here, and we're going to show you probably the best spot in Modern Warfare to get easy long shot kills. For this, it'll make it much easier if you do throw on a sight here, like a 3 times optic seems to be about right for this distance. You'll probably have noticed that Shoot House, and in every game on Shoot House, somebody will sit on this table here trying to pick over the wall. They pretty much just sit here until the end of time, and there's actually a good reason for it now. If you do sit here and get a kill on the other person picking over the wall, you'll definitely get a long shot. I've tested this with SMGs and it definitely works. Assault rifles are pretty consistent with this as well. This might not work for a sniper. It might be a little bit of a short distance, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But it does seem to be a little bit further than this spot will allow, but test it out for yourself and you might find that this is a decent sniper spot as well. You can even do this with pistols if you are feeling really confident, but I've got another tip for pistols and other weapons to make it a little bit easier so you don't have to sort of stress over trying to be able to kill people over this wall with a pistol. This does seem to be a very efficient spot to get this done. You can get like 15 to 20 long shot kills in just this one spot alone, and depending on how the game goes, you might get lucky and get like 30 if someone keeps peeking over the wall and it's a long game and they just keep peeking up there, you keep peeking up there, you trade frags every now and then, you're trading long shots, and it's a little bit dodgy, but again, it's just one of those things that's going to help you get those camos very easily. Like easy long shots is just sit in this spot and try and shoot over the wall. Very simple. And lastly, this is always going to be the best tip to get camos in pretty much any Call of Duty game, and it always gets overlooked by me personally anyway. I'm sure a lot of you know this already and even maybe play this as your default game modes, but hardcore is so great for anything camo related. It is super easy to get kills, that challenges are not really an issue in there. People usually take like 1 or 2 bullets to kill with pretty much every weapon in the game, so if you do find decent spots like the one I showed you on Shoot House, you can easily get most of your challenges done in hardcore because of that reduced health. Like, if you are really pushing for Damascus or even just adding some gold camos to your collection, you really should be playing on hardcore because the challenges just fly by. You don't even really notice that you're completing them, you just do it straight away. Especially if you are in there getting a decent amount of kills. Realistically, if you are focusing on the challenges, you can get like 18 to 25 kills per game. It should only take between 5 to 10 games to finish pretty much all the challenges, apart from like the total kills skins, the spray paint ones, which are like the first unlocks. But that really just takes time. There's not too much of a way around getting those extra kills. You just sort of have to play the game pretty much. So sort of the ideal setup for this would be a hardcore game on Shoot House. In this spot, one shot over the wall should get the kill. So that's the perfect spot to get this, but it might be one of those things that's a little bit hard to get into because everybody might be doing this in hardcore. So do keep that in mind if you are going to jump into hardcore on Shoot House and try this. It might be a little bit tricky from here. In saying this, in Black Ops 4, somebody on Reddit made probably the most helpful post in Reddit history and included pictures for every single map about where the best long shot spots are on every single map. And that one that sticks in my mind was probably the one on Jungle where you'd sit on top of the cliff thing and you'd shoot down towards their B flag. People would get so upset that you're just camping. So if somebody does want to make a post like that, that would be amazing. You'd help probably so many people. But given that I spent some of today looking for a post similar to that for Modern Warfare, I'm not sure anyone has done so yet. So be the change you want to see in the world, people. Make those charts. But anyway, hopefully these tips helped you out and you'll be flying through all those camo challenges now, because once you do know this, they're all pretty easy to knock out of the park, especially in hardcore, which is the camo hunter's dream for getting easy skins. If this one did help you out at all, make sure you do leave a like on the video and do subscribe with those notifications turned on if you haven't already, so you don't miss any more of these videos. If there is something else that you want to see me cover and need help with in this game, make sure you leave a comment and I will do my best to help you out. Or I might even make a little video like this one. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video. Bye!